Most people think money loses value slowly, something that happens only during crises or bad years. But that isn't how it works. Money loses value quietly, consistently, and by design, even when the economy seems stable and nothing dramatic is happening. You can work hard, get paid, save what you can, and avoid obvious financial mistakes. Yet over time, the same amount of money buys less. Food costs rise, bills creep up, rent increases. Things that once felt affordable slowly stop feeling that way. And what's confusing is that this often happens even when you're doing everything right. This isn't bad luck. It isn't just greedy companies. And it isn't because most people are careless with money. It's because of how the system is built. To understand this properly, the first thing to clear up is what money actually is. Money is not wealth. Money is a claim on value. A 10 pounds note isn't valuable because it's paper. It's valuable because other people accept it in exchange for goods, services, time, or labor. So the real value of money isn't the number printed on it. It's what that number can buy. And that buying power is not fixed. It changes over time. The main reason it changes is inflation. Inflation is usually explained as prices going up. But that's only what you see on the surface. At a deeper level, inflation means that each unit of money gradually buys less than it used to. If 100 pounds covered a weekly food shop a few years ago and now it doesn't, that difference is inflation. If products quietly get smaller while prices stay the same, that's inflation too. What's important is that inflation is not treated as a failure of the system. It's treated as a feature. In most modern economies, central banks aim for a positive inflation rate. Not zero. Positive. Usually around 2% per year. That sounds small, but over time it adds up. Why would the system deliberately aim for money to lose value? Because inflation serves several purposes. It encourages spending rather than hoarding cash indefinitely. It allows businesses to raise prices and wages gradually instead of all at once. And most importantly, it makes debt easier to manage. Debt sits at the center of modern economies. Households rely on debt. Businesses rely on debt. Governments rely on debt. When inflation exists, debt becomes easier to live with over time because it's repaid with future money that is worth less in real terms. If someone takes on a large mortgage, inflation helps reduce the burden of that debt across decades. The payment stays the same in numbers, but its impact slowly shrinks relative to incomes and prices. From the system's perspective, this is useful. From the perspective of someone holding cash, it's a problem. If inflation runs at 2% per year and your savings earn nothing, your purchasing power is quietly shrinking every year. The balance in your account doesn't fall, but what it can buy does. This is why inflation feels so confusing. There's no bill, no notification, no clear moment where you're told you've lost money. The loss shows up indirectly, spread across everyday life. Now, a common response is to think, I'll just earn more. But wages don't always keep up with inflation, and they don't rise evenly. This creates a strange experience where someone can get a pay rise and still feel worse off. More money comes in, but life feels tighter. Over time, this leads to a familiar pattern. People work harder. They chase higher salaries. They take on extra responsibility. They cut back where they can. Yet the sense of financial stability keeps moving further away. This isn't because everyone suddenly forgot how to manage money. It's because money itself is changing in value underneath them. Inflation also affects people differently. Those who own assets, like property or shares, often see their wealth rise over time, partly because asset prices tend to move with or ahead of inflation. Those who rely mainly on cash savings don't get that protection. Cash feels safe because it doesn't fluctuate day to day. The number stays the same. But stability in numbers is not the same as stability in purchasing power. Cash is stable on the surface and unstable underneath. This is why saving cash feels responsible, but often turns out to be disappointing over long periods. Savings are still important. They buy time. They reduce stress. They protect against emergencies. But cash alone is not a long-term solution in a system where money is designed to lose value over time. One reason this system persists is that its effects are gradual and uneven. Inflation doesn't hit everyone at once. Some people barely notice it for years. Others feel it immediately. People who benefit from asset growth often see rising prices as normal or even positive. People who struggle with rising
Because the
costs
pressure
often blame
builds
themselves.
slowly
There's
rather than
rarely a single
destruction.
moment where everyone agrees something is wrong. Instead, people adapt. They delay plans. They accept higher stress as normal. They lower expectations. From the outside, the system looks stable. From the inside, many people feel like they're constantly adjusting just to stay in the same place. Understanding how money loses value over time doesn't make the system fair, but it does make it visible. It explains why prices rarely fall back, why saving feels frustrating, why working harder doesn't always fix the problem, why ownership matters so much. Money isn't broken, it's behaving exactly as it was designed to behave. And once you see that clearly, a lot of modern financial confusion starts to make sense. If you want more clear explanations of how money, business, and everyday systems actually work, subscribe.